We continue our journey through the work of the LABC Women's Mission Society in 1921 with the celebration of a summer Christmas, where the women gathered together on Mrs. Woodbury's lawn around a decorated Christmas tree. They decorated dolls and had a Christmas pageant, and they also brought useful gifts to be sent to the mission field at home and abroad. 1921 also involved the Fill a Ship in Fellowship campaign, where the women were able to send 5 cases of clothing valued at $2,500 to the mission field. In December of 1922, Lake Avenue Baptist hosted the annual conference of the Worldwide Guild. This organization was founded in 1915 by Helen Barrett Montgomery, Mrs. Peabody, and Mrs. McLeish. It was formed in order to help girls and young women to focus on missionary endeavors. Mrs. McLeish was a good friend of Helen Barrett Montgomery and Lucy Peabody, and was deeply involved in the formation of the Women's American Baptist Foreign Mission Society, among other endeavors. It was in 1922 that Mrs. Macy, daughter of Dr. Marcina Riker, then the president of the LABC Women's Mission Society, called a meeting to form a new circle, and with that the Mother Bevan Circle was founded. The Mother Bevan Circle supported the work of Spelman College, a predominantly black college. It supported the Mather School in Beaufort, South Carolina, a school for free slaves. Further, it supported the Moulmein Christian Hospital in Burma, established by Ellen Mitchell. And finally, among the list of other things that it supported was a volunteer motor service in Rochester, New York. The mission of the service originally was to transport doctors and nurses to persons afflicted with the flu, and it was funded entirely by charitable contributions. Over time, other circles were founded, including in 1923 the Helen Barrett Montgomery Circle. This group of women focused initially on the work of Mrs. Peabody in Prague, and soon after the work of Reverend Brown in Mexico City, Mexico. It was also during this time that Lucy McGill, a woman who worked for the Women's Baptist Foreign Mission Society in the United States, connected with Helen Barrett Montgomery. They collaborated and wrote about missions and traveled the world together, and together they also established the World Day of Prayer. In September of 1923, the Society hosted a going-away party for Charity Carmen as she prepared to leave for the mission field in Burma. In 1925, the church mourned the passing of Nina Stevens. She was considered dean among the church secretaries in the community. But in addition to this, she also helped to organize the Young Women's Club, which met for recreation and inspiration. Throughout the 1920s, the efforts of the LABC Women's Mission Society continued. The society began to enroll all newborn girl babies in the society as prospective members. As a demonstration of their commitment to young women, in 1926, the society added a member to the executive committee to represent the Big Sister movement. In the late 1920s, the number of circles continued to expand. One of those circles, the 13th Circles, focused on missions to Japan and later to focus on Miss Vickland, an LABC missionary to Assam. Each year, the Society published an annual report that included reports from each circle and a summary of the entire work of the Society. The annual report also included a summary of the work of the White Cross. Each circle was dedicated to this work in addition to their standard accomplishments. Although we don't have a date of the founding of this circle, we do discover that in this time we find a focus on the educational work of the Ishihara-san Circle in Japan. In the annual report of the 1929-1930 program year, it's reported that the Society now has 14 active circles and 504 members. And around that time, at what had become the Women's Society banquet, Mrs. H.E. Goodman was the guest speaker. At that time, she was serving as president of the American Baptist Women's Foreign Mission Society. And now, as we come to the end of the 1930s, we find that there are 15 active circles, with the addition of the Edna Yapel Circle. And it was decided that there would be an afternoon circle that would celebrate with a simple lunch followed by their program and work. Miss Paula Mader was adopted as their missionary to support. She grew up at LABC and went to Japan. And now we come to an end of the 1901 to the 1931 era of the LABC Women's Mission Society. Together we have seen the incredible impact locally, nationally, and internationally of this group of dedicated, loving women at LABC.